So, 2 days ago in Florida, they had the Senate debate, and Val Demings and Marco Rubio went head to head in a televised debate. And much like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Marcus Flowers, Marco Rubio did not stand a chance against Val Demings. It was a slaughter. It was pathetic and sad. And at least from what I saw, Marjorie, at least she tried to fight back at least a little bit and made at least a sad attempt to try and respond. Marco Rubio, he just gets absolutely fucking obliterated in this. I didn't watch all of it like I did the Marjorie debate, but this was it was terrible. I almost would feel bad for him if I didn't think he was a piece of shit. So we have some clips here, and we're going to sit here and, again, enjoy and watch because that's what makes it fun.
Today, we can't do that kind of crazy stuff.
Hold on, wait. Let me turn it up a little bit. Last time there was all these issues.
Today, we can't do that kind of crazy stuff. It only adds to the inflation. I think it begins by winning this election and getting people like that out of office.
And that's time. Congresswoman, the same question you may answer, but you have 60 seconds to answer this question.
Thank you so much for that. Of course, the senator who has never run anything at all but his mouth would know nothing about helping people and being there for people when they are in trouble. No.
So, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm going to go off on a limb here. So, the question is about inflation and if Val Demings or Marco Rubio, if they become senator, which Marco Rubio has been senator of Florida since 2011, how would they help? And trend that I see, especially talked about online a lot amongst Republicans and conservatives, a very common talking point I see is inflation is up right now because of stimulus checks and, the government gives these handouts and that makes inflation rise. That's not true. And if you look at other countries right now, other big developed nations, they are having inflation rates similar, if not higher, than ours is right now. And that is a consequence of so many different things. One of the biggest driving factors of the inflation rates being higher around the entire world is the war of Russia and Ukraine. That's a totally separate issue, though, but that does drive inflation up right now. That is one of the main driving factors. But let's continue here.
The pandemic, but our response to it is everything. Individuals were hurting, families were hurting, businesses were hurting. We passed the CARES Act, which the senator supported. There were some problems in the CARES Act with the Paycheck Protection Program that you love to take credit for. Some say it was poorly written. Some say it didn't help the people that it was supposed to, didn't save the jobs that it was supposed to. There was a way to fix the problems in the PPP through the American Rescue Plan and help people that were in trouble. But you played politics, Senator, and you did not do that. Your number one job as a United States Senator is to protect the health, safety, and well-being of the American people. You've been at it for 24 years.
And to that point of what Val Demings said of you're supposed to help the American people, Florida recently was hit by Hurricane Ian. It was very devastating. I wish the best for everyone that was affected by that storm down in Florida. But the both of the Florida senators, and I'm blanking on the other one's name right now. I have a hard time keeping track of all these names. But Marco Rubio, when they were voting for relief packages for Florida to receive federal, relief funding, Marco Rubio did not even show up to the vote. And I think I can confirm this here. Yeah, so I was 100% right. He just did not show up when they did this when they were trying to vote for these disaster relief funds, these federal disaster relief funds. You know, we've already seen Governor DeSantis call on Biden to help him out, but Val Demings is exactly right. You know, the Marco Rubio doesn't do anything except for run his mouth, and we have the biggest evidence of it is right here, something that happened 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before this debate happened. And this is just proof that Marco Rubio is not fit to actually help the people.
Kind of crazy stuff.
So
Now, as a police detective who investigated cases of rape and incest, no, Senator, I don't think it's okay for a 10-year-old girl to be raped and have to carry the seed of her rapist. No, I don't think it's okay for you to make decisions for women and girls. As a senator, I think those decisions are made between the woman, her family, her doctor, and her faith.
And if you look right here, in this entire thing, it's like I said before, he doesn't even look at her. He doesn't even look up. He knows he's getting his ass handed to him on live TV, and it's going to be everywhere. And he is not even attempting to fight back. It's because he knows that he's pinned here. He knows that he doesn't have ground to stand on these issues. And it's like I said, Val Demings and these Democrats have been doing such a good job in these debates against these Republicans. These people are, these Republicans just are really starting to look just as weak as they truly are, at least from a public policy making standpoint. And it's like I said, you know, even in the Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock, the Marjorie Marcus Flowers debates, they would at least try and fight back. Marco, he's not even looking up. He's not even talking. He knows. He knows. This is a face of a man who knows he has already been defeated. It's like I said, if I didn't think he was a terrible person, I would honestly feel bad for him, because this is it's a slaughterfest. So this next one here, I guess I only watched one clip from all of this, the one about him not doing stuff to help his state. So I don't, at least I think, I don't know.
It's an important point.
That anymore. It is an important point.
Denying the right to buy it is not going to keep them from doing that.
Okay, so obviously what he just said, terrible take, Marco. Come on, that was terrible. Denying them the right to. So the question is, would you support a federal? Let me just show y'all, because I don't like when I can't see it. Would you support a federal law banning the sale of AR-style rifles to people under 21? And he started it. He already starts it off fucking awful with the banning the sale of it is not gonna stop them. Okay, so that's what is gonna stop them, Marco? Please tell me what stops them.
I want to make sure that you don't support that anymore. It is an important point.
Denying the right to buy it is not going to keep them from doing that.
So the problem with that is, and I know that this is Florida, but in Texas, the Uvalde shooter went and bought rifles legally. The rifles that he used in the shooting, where I believe 22 people unfortunately lost their lives. He bought those rifles legally. Now, there are a lot of other instances of people going and buying rifles legally and then using them for heinous, terrible things, like the Uvalde shooter. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was 18. So there's a slew of issues with the way guns are in this country, and the question is not, do we need better gun control? The question is, what is the absolute best way to get this problem under control? It's not a question of if, it's a question of how and we need it and when. This because the question of if is out the window.
Fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is why are these kids, why are these people going out there and massacring people?
This is the
because
same.
a lot of
This
people
is the
own
same argument
AR-15s and they
you
don't
made.
kill.
So there's a phrase many of you have probably heard, and it's out of sight, out of mind. And I can't sit here and say that that's a something I live my life by. It's not. But he's trying to make the point that you can't ban the sale of these weapons under because that's not the issue. My problem with Marco's point, and we're going to continue to watch before I pull this up, but my problem with Marco's point is he, like a lot of Republicans, and I'm going to look up the exact number because I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find it, is he takes lots of lobbying money from the NRA. So when you're taking money from the people who are lobbying for these guns to be out there with not strict regulation requirements or laws on them, you can't make that point to me. Your take on any of it is invalid because you're taking money from them. You're being paid by them. You're a spokesperson for them, essentially. I mean, not quite literally, but you can't make that point, man. You get paid by the NRA. What the fuck are you talking about?
I understand, sir, but I want to go to Congresswoman Demings for 60 seconds.
People who are
also the moderator in this debate, he's on point. They're not fucking with him.
victims of gun violence just heard that, and they're asking themselves, what in the hell did he just say? Senator, you used the Pulse nightclub shooting as your inspiration to run again.
And when the Pulse nightclub shooting happened, it was the worst shooting on U.S. soil to date. I saw it when it happened. I was watching it live on the news at a relative's house. It was terrible. It was so awful. And there are still people that are affected by that. And there's people... It's not just the people who fall victim to the violence, because so many other people are affected by these people losing their lives, and it's sad that we even have to have conversations like this. I really think it is, and like Val Demings is saying here, it's really pathetic what Marco Rubio is saying here. It's not insensitive isn't the word, It's not even insensitive. It's just, to me, it's like a moral thing. But, talking about Republicans having morals, at least ones that make sense, it's not.
In 2016, Pulse is in my district. And yet, you've done nothing to help address gun violence and get dangerous weapons out of the hands.
And she's exactly right about that. Nothing.
People.
Absolutely
Florida,
fucking nothing.
After Parkland, after you made promises that you had no intentions on keeping to the parents of Parkland, Florida passed legislation raising the age to have an assault weapon, passed red flag laws that we've seen 7,000 plus instances where they've been used now. Our primary...
He doesn't even care. He's sitting here like playing with his fucking phone or doing some stupid shit. He doesn't care at all. This man doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't even give a shit at all. He's not even looking at her. He's not even looking up.
Responsibility is the safety of Floridians. And Senator, 24 years in elected office, and you have not yet risen to that occasion. And then when asked about it, you say something that makes no sense.
All right, Congressman, thank you.
And that was an incredible answer from Val Demings. And I'm going to be probably should have said this before. I'm not that familiar with Val Demings, at least not nearly as familiar with her as I am Marco Rubio. But it's like I said, he knows he's getting his ass handed to him. It's sad. Before we watch this next clip, because apparently this is one. We're going to look up his Let's see. Oh, it's on here. Marco Rubio. Mitt Romney at the top of the list. Okay, we can't get sidetracked though. But you can't see it. And this website is it's a real website. They can really track this stuff. It's pretty accurate. And they track which politicians receive the most money from the NRA. And as we can see right here, Marco Rubio is 5th on the list, $3.3 million in lobbyist money, and gun deaths per year by state is second highest on the list so far. On this list, Florida has the second highest gun deaths in state per year, and Marco Rubio receives the 5th most lobbyist money from the NRA. So anyone who's would be looking to Marco Rubio, which I don't know why they would be looking to a Republican like Marco Rubio to do something like, gun control, it's out of the question for him. $3.3 million is way better to him than actually trying to make change in his state.
The majority of people in our nation want us.
It's I don't think, and I can go and look it up after. I don't think Val Demings has taken any NRA money, so it's I'm way more inclined, even if I just pretend I was able to get rid of every single bias or belief or what ideology I have for some reason, and I just looked at these two candidates completely just blind, knew nothing about them, knew nothing about any of this. Val Demings would seem, that's like I said, would seem like the better candidate just based off what she says. I mean, Marco Rubio, he's not even
to do just that.
I don't know how many times I can hone in on him not saying anything, because I can't believe he's sitting there getting his ass whooped like this. What are you doing?
How long will you watch people being gunned down in 1st grade, 4th grade, high school, college, church, synagogue, a grocery store, a movie theater, a mall, and a nightclub,
Congresswoman,
and do nothing?
that is time. I want
The majority of
Damn. These clips are great. Also, if anyone was wondering, I pretty much get
to make
majority of these clips from I don't know if it's pronounced like this, but Aiken on Twitter. It's just at Aiken. He's amazing. He posts clips all the time, all day long. The best clips, the greatest clips. Go give him a follow. Give him the attention that he deserves over on Twitter. And we got I don't like to read the captions sometimes because I want to go in, but
That's a method of voting that doesn't advantage one group or another. There's danger involved in drop boxes. People need to think about it. Okay, imagine someone decides, oh, there's a drop box. I'm just going to put some explosive in it and blow it up and burn all of those ballots, and now those votes don't count at all.
Okay, so Marco Rubio just made the point that we can't have drop boxes for people's ballots, their vote, because somebody might come up and put a bomb in the drop box and blow up the ballots. So we can't have drop boxes for ballots, but we can have assault weapons, literally military-style, military-grade weaponry in the hands of very young citizens. But somebody might go put a bomb and blow up ballots in a Dropbox. Okay, all right.
Okay, there is something with elections. There are two things that are very important. Number one, the count has to be accurate. The votes have to be counted accurately. But the other is there has to be public confidence. The public has to believe that the elections were fair. That's a method of voting.
He said that the public has to believe that the elections are fair. I mean, I guess to a degree, yeah, but I mean, if the election is done fairly, That's like that's like saying because Donald Trump thinks the election is rigged, then it's rigged. What kind of no. No. Terrible points. Just god awful, terrible, terrible points. Jesus.